Hello and welcome to Wildly Curious, a podcast that tells you everything you need to know about nature, probably more than you wanted to know. I'm Laura.
And I'm Katie, and today is our second mini episode talking about volcanoes and the surprising things that they've made, buried, and accidentally made cooler.
Mm-hmm. And today I'm going to be talking about made.
Ooh, okay.
It's not a very long one, but it is interesting. I was just trying to think of all the different, I tried to hit my episodes just from different angles, like I tried to in the past. Well-rounded. So this one is about the Antarctic ice caves that surround their volcanoes.
Ooh.
Yeah, didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So everybody, you think about it, you hear Antarctica and you immediately think it's cold.
Cold.
Rock, ice, and snow.
Yeah.
But it actually has a ton of volcanoes.
Yeah.
It has 18 volcanoes in total.
Oh, I knew they had a few, but I didn't realize it was that many.
It's like it basically almost surrounds Antarctica. And 2 of them are very active and have erupted in the last 100 years. The one that gets the most press, because it is pretty freaking cool, is called Mount Erebus, because it has a continual lava lake. Like, there's always lava in the middle of it. It's like ice and snow, and then a lava lake in the middle of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's on Ross Island, which is an island right off the coast of Antarctica.
Yes, this is definitely the one I've heard about. Yeah,
this one, and then there's another one, or like it's like a series of teeny things that a lot of people talk about. So these Antarctic ice caves can be found around a lot of volcanoes, but the ones around Mount Erebus are basically the best known because it's the most active. So, due to the heat, steam, and the gases that are emitted by the volcanoes, many of them are surrounded by numerous ice caves. So, covered in ice, the whole area covered in ice, but then because of the steam, it is basically melting pockets all around under the ice. Some of them have outside entrances that have been, that's how they even know that they're there. Like you might. Yeah. But for the most part, they're pretty contained under the ice. Yeah. And outside, the average temperature on Ross Island is 1 degree Fahrenheit. Now, that can be like, sometimes it's negative 30, and sometimes in the summer it's higher. But on average, 1 degree. Inside the caves, 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Good
so, like,
Lord.
you're, like, freezing to death in Antarctica, and then you happen, like, you just happen to run into one of these caves, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like the summer in here.
Yeah, 70-degree difference. That's huge.
You'd have to strip everything that you were wearing so that you did not overheat and die.
God.
Because you'd be wearing, like, all the gear for 1 degree.
No, right? Yeah.
You're like, oh my God.
And that's 1 degree, but then it's wind chill, it's all that stuff, you know. So it's, you're
Antarctica's pretty windy.
Yeah.
Most of the caves are pretty dark, but if the cave has been melted up close enough to the surface ice, light can get through. So they are, like, lit through the ice.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. And which means that where there's light, there's typically life, which we've talked about in our cave episodes.
Yep.
So scientists, at least at this location at Mount Erebus, have taken soil samples within the cave and found life. Now, some of it, when they took the soil samples, it was actually living things, and some of it was just DNA. So, like living.
Because that's what I was going to ask, because sometimes they find viruses in ice cores, and I'm like, why would you mess with that, guys? Have you never watched an episode of X-Files? Like, don't touch that.
Don't touch your permafrost. Some of the things that they expected to find, they found in other places in Antarctica, and it's not out of the ordinary, like algae and nematodes and things like that.
Yeah.
Pretty normal. Some DNA that they found, which does not, it doesn't mean it's alive. It could be alive.
If you're going to say aliens, I'm going to poop my pants.
Well, actually, we don't know, but probably not, because the DNA doesn't match anything in the system.
Of course not.
It means it's an undiscovered species. So
once again,
could be aliens. I don't know. But they said the closest match is to arthropods. So some type of probably insect or whatever. What you normally find. It's kind of almost the same as caves, right?
Yeah.
You start at the very bottom of the life chain, and the biggest you get usually is centipedes and scorpions.
Yeah.
So like same kind of thing here. Again, doesn't prove that they are still there, but they have been at some point, and it seems. Are they remnants from when this place wasn't covered in ice? Or are they there? I mean, because a lot of them, yes, there is some exposure from the outside, but like,
but not
how
much.
does life get there?
There, yeah.
And
it would make way more sense that it was before it moved into its current position.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then
it's
DNA
that,
doesn't
or that the
typically
cave
last.
has been there so long that evolution has actually had time to like go all the way up. You know what I mean?
Which, if you've ever seen the movie Evolution with David Duchovny from X-Files and some other people, have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Oh my God. And that's what happens is meteor comes down, strikes into a cave, and then it starts to quickly evolve. Which, like really, So as soon as you're like, oh yeah.
Because that's the one where the Head and Shoulders defeats things, right?
Yes,
okay,
yes. Yes.
Yeah, so intriguing, and they want to do more studies. It's very hard to get. It's not the easiest place to get to.
Well, yeah, it's not only Antarctica, but then it's a volcanic
island.
Cave. Yeah, island, volcano, cave. Yeah,
like some people who've gone, the scientists who went to even take these samples, they had to, I think they get close with transportation, but then they have to hike in, and then like a storm hit, and they had to decide, they actually had to like ration food for a second, and then they were like, okay, we have enough to get us to these caves, and
Lord,
it is still the Antarctic, so it's still pretty extreme. But tons of potentially undiscovered caves beneath the ice. I tell you what, though, now that I have read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff since college.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Every time I even think of Antarctica and hidden depths of Antarctica, I actually get like goosebumps. I don't even want to think about what's under Antarctica. I can't do it.
Right.
So you wouldn't find me in one of those ice caves, but very cool.
Yeah. It would be terrifying because, we have no idea anything about the bottom of the ocean. But then there's things like this, that these caves, it's
very similar. Yeah. It's like a completely unknown world.
Yeah. Like what is further in these caves? You know what I mean? Like what is further down?
Yeah. What did this continent look like before? What's happened?
Yeah.
Like, you just never know. You wouldn't know. It's basically like being on another planet.
Yeah. Dang. Well, that was a cool one.
Yeah. Not long, but cool information, and now you know about Antarctic ice caves around volcanoes, thanks to them.
Yeah, right? Well, guys, make sure you go check us out on Facebook, YouTube, especially, because we're gaining a lot of traction. So if you guys could go subscribe over there, that would help us a lot. Keep an eye out on all of our socials. We have a lot of really awesome stuff coming up for season 12. So make sure you guys go follow us on all of our channels, and then we will talk to you next week.
See you next week.